Good morning again. It is still Good Morning Anambra, Monday morning edition. My name is Ijoma Uche. And I have Ebere Ugona with me. Ebere, good morning.
Good morning. It's amazing to be here again and of course be with you and the program.
I must say that it's good to be back again.
Oh, it's good to be back.
Okay, thank you for joining us this morning. Okay, Ebere, what are we going to look at this morning?
We'll be looking at the topic, protecting the rights of consumers. A lot of people, when it comes to this particular topic, a lot of people may not really understand what it means to have a right as a consumer. Today, the topic, the guest we have in the house will be extreme at this topic deeply to let us know a lot of people who are consuming whatever, that they also have a right to it.
Okay, so join us this morning to look at this topic as Humphrey Emmanuel Akam. He is a Principal Consumer Education Officer, FCCPC, Oka. Good morning, Humphrey.
Good morning, Anambra.
Okay. And then Mr. Aga Ewa Uchena, a Consumer Rights Advocate. Good morning, Uchena.
Good morning, Anambra. God bless you.
Okay, it's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Oh well, let's kickstart. I know that consumer protection is described as the practice of safeguarding buyers of goods and services and then the public against unfair practice in the marketplace. Well, I'm not going to do your job for you. I'm going to hand it over to you to help us explain more to our people what consumer protection is all about. Mr. Humphrey.
Okay. Consumer protection is all about protecting consumers in its generality on what they buy, how to buy, what you should do after you have bought, and maybe if the product is defective, where to go, what to do, so that you get redress for such case.
Okay. If the product is not good, where to go, what to do, that's just all about consumer protection agency.
Not really, but I'm just taking it bit by bit.
Mm-hmm.
So that as we progress, we go into it.
All right, let's hear from Mr. Uchenna. Protecting consumer rights, in your own words, what does it really mean?
Well, protecting consumers' rights has to start with individual passions on protecting vulnerable consumers. Without passion, you cannot, protect the interests of the voiceless. So by passion, I personally go extra mile in ensuring that consumers' voice is being heard everywhere.
Okay, that's exactly what you do.
Yes.
As an advocate,
Yes.
to make sure that consumers' voice are heard everywhere. Yes. And then, Mr. Humphrey, would you say that the Consumer Protection Agency or Commission, okay, okay, yeah, I wanted to ask you that. What is the relationship between the agency and the commission? Because before now is agency, now is commission. So
before now, it was CPC,
okay.
Consumer Protection Council.
Okay.
But there's a law that came up which repealed that of Consumer Protection Council and now formed what is called FCCPC, Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. Now, more feathers have been added to it. That's competition. Competition in the sense that we want to do away with monopoly in the market. A situation whereby somebody comes in maybe because he has much money, more than the people that are already in business. He will be able to dictate what happens in that sector. He'll fix price, and by so doing, he will push others out of the business. But the coming in of this competition makes it possible that there won't be such things like that. Like for instance, a company may come, let's say drinks for instance. A company that is producing a drink will come to your shop then paint your shop their color, give you some of their products, and make it in such a way that you don't have the right to sell other products. So anytime they come to your shop, if you're selling B instead of that A that is their product, you have a problem with them. Now, the coming in of this competition has made it possible that if you do so, you are infringing on people's rights. It is not good. You are being anti-competitive, competition in the market. So we now come into the market to make it possible that whatever you have, the little you have, you can sell. The other one that has big money can also sell. If you also come, there are these things that happens in the market. Some associations, they will tell you, if you're coming into this business, you must register with us. And by that registration, they will now pin you down. Whatever they say, that will happen. And sometimes if you want to exit from that association, they say no. But the coming in of this competition and has opened that way in the market. There is now free entry and free exit. You can't say, if I want to sell yam, now I can't bring my produce from my farm to the market and sell. If I bring it, I must hand it over to the union to sell, make their own commission and give me my own money. It's not so again. If such happens, the person will be held liable. And what the law says will take its place.
All right. Let me come to you, Mr. Uchenna, consumer rights advocate. What are some of the ways you've been able to, pass the message to a lot of people who are probably consuming products or selling products and all of that, that probably don't know what their rights is? What have been some ways you've been able to pass the message to them and say, hey, see, this is your right, that is your right?
All right. Thank you for this very beautiful question. One of the ways is through sensitization.
Okay.
And that sensitization takes me to churches. I go as far as locating, identifying with some churches, schools, and some market executives, most especially when they do have what they call monthly meeting or prayer meeting. So I use such opportunity to, educate them on their rights and responsibilities as consumers.
Okay, do you have an established office?
Yes,
or is just is it a one-man show?
For now, I am still collaborating with the FCCPC for now. Like I said, is something that is driven by passion.
It's driven by passion.
Yes, so with time, other things will follow.
Will come in. Okay, yes. Maybe with time we'll see if that's how we can establish an agency for the advocates.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
And even in addition, I'm also a pastor. I use such medium to, I have my own ministry. Okay. I use such medium to, sensitize
and
the person message.
The more.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Humphrey, you talked about this competition. I think I picked interest here because if I have a product and I am boxed up, I have a lot of money, and I don't want anybody to compete with me on this product. And I decide to peg the price that this is what I want to sell it. I'm going to sell this product 3 naira. Okay? You know what is involved in business because you are doing it in a very large scale. Even if you sell 3 naira, you still make your gain. But people that are doing it very small scale, if they sell 3 naira, they will be running down. Okay? Now, how can you now come and tell me how much I want to sell the products that I have produced with my own money so that I can be in competition with others?
Actually, it's different from what I said. You're talking about price fixing. Price, if you produce a product, you have the right to sell at any given price as you want. But what we are saying is that it shouldn't be in such a way that the other people will be out of the market. There won't be any anti-competition practices that will push others out of the market. People will come, if you're producing and selling at 5 naira and others are selling at 10 naira, it's okay. Considering what you have put in. One, if the product is quality.
If I'm selling at 5 naira and others are selling at, I've practically put them off business because you won't go to the market and go and buy at a very high rate where where you can get it cheaper elsewhere.
If Mr. A is selling, for instance, 10 naira and Mr. B is selling 15 naira, what it implies is that Mr. B should find a way of knowing how he produces his own that makes the price come down. That is the competition we are talking about.
And that's where I want to come in, because that's the kind of things you see here.
Yes, it happens.
Like what we experience in cement production,
yes,
and a whole lot of things, sugar and
yes,
other things, okay?
Yes.
Whereby there's this big monopoly. Okay, by the way, how are you fighting such monopoly?
We are fighting it so much because we visit these companies. Mm-hmm. If we go, we look at their production processes, the pricing and the rest of them. Now, remember, FCCPC has also the mandate to advise the federal government on pricing. If we advise the federal government on pricing, the federal government now takes it. So it is not solely as if we are fixing price, but when we go, the companies will have their own production process and the prices of what they are about to put into this production. Now we advise them, there is a range which you are not supposed to pass when you are adding your own gain, so that others will not be out of the market. Because if you push others out of the market, it then means the monopoly is still there. And that is why there's another thing we call merger and acquisition. In that merger and acquisition, we look out to see if Mr. A is acquiring this Mr. B's company, basically because he wants to monopolize, we don't allow it. But if you are acquiring it, either to make it bigger, it's okay. So the eye of the government through FCCPC is watching you and monitoring your activities to avoid that monopoly.
Let's talk about some of the consumer protection laws. Okay. What are these laws? And then again, because he talked about, Mr. Uchine talked about sensitization of the people. What are these laws, and how well have the people been able to understand that there's a law like this and following it to the letter?
Understanding of the law, like the biblical Ethiopian Enoch, he said, how will I know if I'm not taught? That's the essence of sensitization when he mentioned, and that is why we are here. We try as much as we can to visit churches, schools, markets, and everywhere people are gathered, and some social media and print medias, to make sure that we sensitize the public on their rights and responsibilities. And the laws that established FCCPC is FCCPA of 2018 that talked about what we are saying, like sensitizing the public. It spelled out the rights of consumers. It spelled out what we are supposed to know, what we are supposed to do. If you are hot, if you go into business and you're shortchanged, this is your rights and this is what we are going to do. So if time permits, we reel out the rights.
Okay.
So that consumers will know.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Okay. Now, if we talk of consumer rights, it's dated back to 1962, when the then President of America, John F. Kennedy, addressed a Congress and mentioned 4 rights. The 4 rights he read out was right to safety, information, choice, and right to be heard. Now, after mentioning these rights, the United Nations in 1985 now looked at it and expanded the rights to include satisfaction of basic needs, right to redress, right to consumer education, and right to environment. In Nigeria, the FCCPC also keyed into this through what we call Consumer International. It's like an umbrella body of consumer protection agencies in the world. So in these rights, we make sure that we tell Nigerians what their rights are. Like starting from right to information, which to me, to an extent, I take it to be the father of other rights, because if you're not informed, you're deformed. Mm-hmm. So too many things happen out there that people don't know. For instance, if I'm producing a product, a certain product, and I don't give information correctly about that product, the person that is buying is being deceived. Because if I have an ailment that maybe my doctor said I shouldn't take something that has salt, I shouldn't take something that has a sugar, oil and so much, so on. So if I pick a certain product, and in that product, if I look at it, and these things are not mentioned, as in the properties used in the production of that product, if they are not listed out, I won't be able to know if I'm consuming what is poisonous to myself or not. But if these things are labeled out, then the consumer will be able to know what he or she is taking. So we tell Nigerians, one, in that we call it labeling standard. So if you pick a product, the physical parameters of that product, first of all, we send a message. One, it will have the address of the producer. It will have the properties, what we call nutritional labeling. It will have the properties used in producing that product. It will have expiry date, it will have production date, and it will have batch number. So if these things are not there, you begin to question the genuinity of that product. But if they are there, you now look at it, at least it is good. And we also tell people to buy from a pool of products, not when you just see one. Let me say beverages, for instance. If you want to buy, you buy from a pool of products, because we are aware that there are fakers. And these fakers may pick a product, just like we see scavengers going around our houses and things like that to pick already used cans. Now we ask ourselves questions. What do they use these cans for? It's just for faking, because we know original producers don't use already used cans. They blow their own cans. So if, for instance, a family of 3 buys a beverage, a can of beverage, it is possible they will finish it in a week or a month. And if you look at that can, the expiry date is still far. So if you sell it out to these scavengers, they will go in there, pour in whatever they want, cork it again and bring. The expiry date is still okay. So somebody might still pick it and take.
Okay. Mr. Uchenna, the rights advocate, Humphrey have been able to rule out the rights of the consumer, which includes to be heard, to the right to safety, right to choose, and then right to consumer education or the right information. Now, does the consumer have a responsibility towards these rights? If yes, what are the consumer's responsibility?
Okay, number one responsibility is to speak out. You voice out your feelings, because once you refuse to say something or say where it affects you, nobody will hear you. So that is number one of consumer's responsibility. And once your right is being infringed or you're being shortchanged, it's expected of you to take your complaint to whoever, the service provider first, and complain. So if at that point he refuses to do anything regarding to your own case, then you take it up to the right agency for redress. So next to it is we have to be conscious of ourselves, beware of some certain malpractices in the market. You know, he made mention of substandard product. These days, is a fact that I might even say that we have some fake human beings too. Do you understand? So if I'm to board the keke now, I should be conscious of, you know, the driver or the type of keke I'll be, patronizing, considering the security challenges we have today. So a consumer should be conscious, and we say a consumer should be at alert, beware of some certain malpractices. And next to it is be aware, you know, that takes us to right to information. So you have to be aware of some certain things that is going on in the market. And how can you be aware when you don't read or when you're not being sensitized? Okay. So today, I am sure that all the news papers are out for us to read what happened yesterday and today. So we advise consumers, however, to try as much as possible to read.
Well, if you're just joining us, this is Good Morning Anambra, and we've been discussing about how to protect the rights of consumers. You can also join in the discussion this morning by calling the number, it's on the screen there, and let your voice be heard. If there are questions you need to ask us, we're here to take all of them. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, your name and location.
Yeah, I'm calling from Abuja.
All right, good morning. Tell me your name. Welcome to the show.
My name is Carlo.
All right, Kano, go ahead with your questions or your contributions.
My question goes to the man in the Consumer Protection Board.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, in 2019, I transacted a business with Union Bank. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So, through this their POS, and I was debited, but I never received the alert. I never received any money, and they debited me. And I went to their office, branch office. I lodged a complaint. They said I should fill some form, an incident for my bill. After 3 days, I went to their head office, the same thing. I'm telling you, since 2019 till today, my money is still hanging. They've not reverted the money, and I don't know what to do because I've done the best I can do.
Okay.
How do you people come in?
All right,
All
thank
right.
you so
Thank
much,
you.
Mr. Kano. Mr. Humphrey would answer that question. Thank you so much.
Mr. Kalu, the answer to your question is very simple. Like I pointed out earlier, if one is not informed, he is deformed.
Okay.
Since 2019, the bank took your money, no alerts, you didn't go to bank to pick money. What you will simply do is to launch a complaint in our office. Our head office is in Abuja. So, or, I don't know the location where it happened. So if it is in Southeast, you can lodge the complaint here in Southeast. And I bet you, if you do, they will have no option than to look into it and tell us who picked the money. If it is not anybody you know, if it's the bank, they will revert the money with immediate effect.
All right, thank you very much. Well, that brings me to my next question. Let's look deeply into the regulations, because I know you've talked about the laws.
I know we have another caller.
Okay, let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
My
What?
name is Victor and I'm calling from Jos.
All right, Victor from Jos. Victor, go ahead with your contributions.
Yes, please, I have an issue with a particular beverage company. I bought a drink sometime 2 years ago from a particular beverage company, and I saw some dirt in it. I actually went to them to complain, but they said there was no case because they said I hadn't opened the drink, it had not contaminated me, so I had no case. And the other question they asked me is if I had opened it, I would have, there would still be no case because I had already opened it. It might be the same person to have contaminated it. So I don't know what should be done about these people. And I bought a drink from the same company, from the same beverage company 2 weeks ago, and I found a fly inside the corked drink. So how do I go about this thing?
Okay.
Because they've broken my trust in them. So how do I go about this? Because I'm now scared of taking anything coming from this company.
All right, thank you. Let's
Thank
Mr.
you
Humphrey
very much.
respond.
Thank you very much.
Like the company told you, if you have opened it, you don't have a case. Because the truth is that the onus is on you to prove that it is if it is their product and it wasn't you that put it there. But if you have not opened it, the only thing you need to do is to report to us. So we go to the company, go to their lab. There is something we call shelf, where they keep a sample of every product they push to the market. So if you look at the batch number of this one he's complaining of, Then you get the matching one from the lab. You can now do a test to know if it is their product. If it is their product, now they will be held liable. They will give you a compensation.
Okay, but I think that some of these stringent measures are what is keeping our people from, coming up to say exactly what they experience from some of these products. Otherwise, if this drink that he's talking about it were to be something like malt that is canned, okay, there's no way you will discover whatever is inside until you have opened it.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so how are you going to find out?
If it is canned, if you open it and you notice such a thing, if you report, we still make do with the batch number.
Okay, thank you.
The batch is what gives us the information. Okay. You know, when it comes to faking, a faker now will collect cans from Oka here, collect from Ebony, collect from other places. He doesn't have the machine to batch. He's only putting his product in already produced cans. And if you open that carton, you see that each piece of that product, we have a different batch number. So that is the most important information that we need to know.
Batch numbers.
Yes. But before we go for the street walk, just one more question. Talking about drinks in bottle.
Yeah.
There's some drinks that's got this, dark color and all of that. Yeah. And most times you cannot, spot it if you still don't open it. So where do we go from there?
We still advise people, like I said, if you open it and there is a deposit in it, you report.
Because you just said if you open it, there's no case. That's why I asked that.
Okay.
There's no case if the company will tell you there's no case, but to us it's not true. Okay. To us it's not true. I said
the person should report to you.
Report to us.
Not even to the company.
Actually, you need to report the company.
The first point of call.
First point of call, you report to the company, or even where you bought from. If they are able to settle with you, good and fine.
Okay.
But if they are not,
we are going on a street walk now. When we come back, you're going to tell us what you are doing to all these people that you know that are faking these products. Okay, because you have just told us how to find out which one that is fake or which one that is not fake. Okay, let's take a short break now and get to the streets and bring you a street walk. Don't get away.
Where Naira had value, I bought a blender, that's grinder, for 6,500. I didn't use it up to 3 times. It got broke. I returned it to the seller. He told me that there was nothing he could do. I went to somebody that will repair it. He couldn't. There's a body the government has then. I don't know whether they are still functioning. Standard Organization of Nigeria. If they are no longer functioning, please, the government should revive them so that consumers will have the rights. You can't spend your money anyhow. Things are hard, difficult.
The Consumer Rights Association need to be active, and people need to be reporting some certain issues. When they buy a particular product and after the stipulated duration for the warranty has elapsed, maybe before it elapsed, the product started having faults. I think consumer rights associations should put hand on that and look into it.
Problem a na-enwe na ngwaafịa na ndị mmadụ na-azụ n'obodo a na-asị na ọ dị egwu. Ọ na-eme affect the consumers. Government kwesịrị ịbata nye aka ka amara ihe a ga-eme ya. Personally, as a civil servant, when I get something and the space of 2-3 months, 2 years, where I'm giving some guarantee of 2 years, the thing may spoil or damage, I think I will never be happy with them. So I think it's a time for these people to come in and help consumers.
Experience nke enwe go na phone. Anyị go mgbe go Techno. So hanya mo a year warranty. So but already 6 months. So the battery nyebe nsogbu. So mo we shi ya ka ha because the phone can under warranty. So can lose ebe ha say na me gote na me anje change the battery. So mo we kwa ha say no because the phone can under warranty. So Hasinja wanted the receipt. Mama wanted the receipt where go to her. So Hasinja meet here the manager. Can meet is the manager welfare. So I come manager for the thing off na the phone can under warranty. Then he or another battery thing at the phone. The thing will over call. And this one they help but ma bụ na onye na-ego ya dịchọ na ogo na the main original place nke ya bụ enwe ihe mere nụ ka ọ mara otu o esi wee chọpụta the good one and the bad one. Ọrụ gọọmenti alụ bụ anyị nwazi a report to gọọmenti gwa ha na na the product adịghị mma, then he see through the address to go and verify the product.
I bought a cell phone, so the cell phone developed a fault. So I returned the cell phone in the market. Actually, I bought it in the market. So I was like, Mister, this phone that you gave me suddenly is not up to your month. It developed a fault. And the guy just told me that I've bought the phone, so that he can't do anything. I think that the government should come into these matters, because once you bought an item, you will see the warrant there, 5 years, sometimes 3 years, sometimes a year. So they should place a law enforcement agencies, that will take care of all these, that you can go and report to, and they will attend to you.
Phone and then a warranty there. Use onye 6 months can use it. The thing a dozen more. Which year I can do less messy or whether anything on me, move it here. That's now Obasala. So now, but I change your battery. No, I off from battery. When you go another new battery, so I have to go back. Work with phone now. On dog in that standard organization I meet. All I take is here up. You see. When a farmer bunduga nafu. Before that.
Okay, welcome back. It is staying tuned. Oh yes, you have heard, and a whole lot of them are just mentioned in Standard Organization of Nigeria. It does appear a lot of them do not even know that Consumer Protection Agency exists. So what are you doing? I have a pending question, but there's this, what are you doing to let the people know exactly this is what you stand for?
Like I already pointed out, is sensitization all the way. We try as much as we can to sensitize the public through market places, churches, just as we are here. You see the people that called. The people that called, they didn't even do one in Abuja, one in Jos. From their narrative, they didn't know what to do. They didn't know they were supposed to. To tell Nigerians what to do and where to go. Really know the difference between FCCPC and SON. There's a relationship. The relationship is that all of us regulate us. But in that regulation, and the NAFDAC are sector regulators. Is the Apex Federal Government Consumer Regulatory Agency, in the sense that we come from the consumer side. If you have this type of complaint and go to SON or NAFDAC to complain, actually they will work, but they don't have the constitutional backup to fight for a personal one. But if you come to FCCPC, we will take it up from that point, making sure that that first consumer that complained is settled. Let's assume it's a case of a fake product. Or refund. So if we come to you and we're able to settle Mr. A who bought from you, he goes. Who do you now to tell us where you got your own products from? You need to know either the person that imported
that thorough? Because here's the thing, why I ask that question is, a lot of people faith and confidence in, you know, that particular company. Yes. A lot of are shying away from probably making their way to your office because they feel like even if I go lodge my complaint to them, they just, you know, take it, you know, the best way they want, and at the end of the day, I don't get justice.
Yes, I know that happens. And I'm ready to be quoted anywhere. You understand? You want, like here in Southeast, there are products. I mention them, but because, for the sake of this, I want to mention them. This milk, Jago milk, had problem. It was from a cocker here. Okay. Somebody bought from a cocker.
Yes. Hello, good morning.
From a cocker, because this woman has been using this for a long time. And complained. And the man loudly said, this is how I bought. I don't know what was inside, so I've sold to you. So because she knew about us, she came to our office and reported. We followed her immediately to the place she bought. When we got there, we looked at the batch number of that particular one she was holding and removed every other one of the same batch in that man's shop. We now made the man to settle her. Immediately, the man gave her another one that was okay, different batch number. We opened it and it was okay. So she left. We now took the man to Onitsha where he claimed he bought. So when we got to the market he bought, we met the person. That person gave her 5 cartons of the good ones. Now we retrieved more from the man's shop. The man took us to the company. And the company settled this man. So when we were done with those ones, we now told the company to explain how this thing... Investigation, we gathered that it was the company's fault. So what we did, we now went on making announcements in markets and using social media and print media and such. So we're going to shop from shop to shop in every part of Southeast. Even we started from Ifite here. So we went to any shop, we see that particular product, that particular batch. If we remove one, the company gives you 2 in return. And they were always going with us. So we made sure that these things were removed from the market. And so many other ones. There was this time we had a...
Okay, but before we go to that, before want of time, we're still going to get back to that. Let's engage Uchenna, who is a consumer advocate. I would like to ask you, have you been a victim of fake products before? Or perhaps what?
Yes, what really gave me this passion or the idea to identify with consumer rights protection issue is my encounter during my youth service days. I bought a ceiling fan, you know, then in Sokoto. I served in Sokoto with Nigeria Army. So when they mounted the fan for me, you know, I expected it to work, and it didn't work. Then I caught the attention of the soldiers because I was one of their tutors in their training college. So they dismounted it, and we had to take it back to where I bought it. So, and to my greatest surprise, the guy that sold it to me is an Igbo guy, Igbo man. So the moment he sighted me and he said, "No, when he hang me, nah, Izugo won Izugo." You know, for me, as a youth copper, how much is my alawi and all that? So I was really angry about it. So, and I left. He refused to change it. So when I returned to the barracks and told the soldiers, they said, no, it cannot happen to our guy. It cannot happen to our guy. Let's, you know, go. So the moment the guy saw the team that was behind me, he immediately said, I was calling you and you didn't hear. And I'm not, but you came here in Europe. You know, he now brought up a brand new...
Sharp Igbo guy.
So being that he's from my tribe, because these soldiers were ready to, you know... So I began to feel sorry. At the end of the day, he's my brother.
Now you mistakenly picked the wrong one.
Yes. So when I took the the one he gave me, and they mounted it, and it was working well. So I was satisfied with this product. There, I started, having the idea of, going for consumer advocacy.
Talking still on that, still on all that happened, and you being an advocate for consumer, how well have you been able to partner with, other agencies or other bodies that fight for the rights of consumers?
Okay, one is the FCCPC here with me, and every, you have NYC, even SON, S-O-N, as well. So I have some, friends over there. Like the World Consumer Rights Day team of the year, 2022, talks on fair digital finance. I contacted them and I got information from them. Personally, I organize people who really accompany me and work from POS to POS, POS to POS. Like one of the callers said that somebody withdrew from his account. He just got alert. How the money went off, he cannot tell about it and all that. So this is one of the things I do. Presently, I am working on this very World Consumer Rights team.
All right.
Okay. Oh, well, I was actually going to ask you what, gingered you into, getting into this kind of advocacies, whether you have been a victim and you have just explained to us what really happened and how you handled it. Because that's one of the problems we have here. You have a problem, you don't talk about it, you don't do anything about it. You bought a fake product, come back home, discover it's fake. You don't do anything, you just keep it there, and then there are places to go. There are things you do to ensure that they don't cheat you. Look at how they have explained it. You will still get to be paid back, and then you'll be informed and save others from having this kind of problems in future.
Presently that people, lodge their complaints to me, and when they come, I direct them to the appropriate reporters. That is the extent I've been able to progress.
Okay, yes, I said it that we're going to create an agency for you. All right, Mr. Humphrey, would you say that, looking at the various problems we are having in the manufacturing sector, and then even in the open markets, will you say that this consumer protection agency is actually functioning in Nigeria?
Seriously, it is functioning. Because the way it stands now, it's almost becoming a household name in Nigeria. Recently, you hear of SPCPC stamping on all these illegal money lenders, the loan sharks. Okay. And even today, as we're here talking, others have been arrested. So many accounts have been frozen. And even they're talking about Google and others, Play Store having a link to that, so we're working on that. And away from that, in the open market, like for Southeast that we are covering, the very major market in Southeast, if there's a problem, actually our office is in Oka here. And sometimes, if we focus in Anambra today, we might not know what is happening in Ebonyi. We might not know what is happening in Abia State.
Is this your regional office?
Yes, this is our regional
Controlling
office.
how many states?
5 states.
Where?
Now,
what are the states?
Ebonyi, Enugu, Anambra, Imo, and Abia, 5 states of the Southeast.
Okay.
Now, what we have done is that we have tried and established our presence in all the major markets in Southeast through their executives. So if something happens for instance, in Onitsha, as we are talking, and we get a complaint from the market, the only thing we do is to call the president of the market. Please go to so line, so shop, lock it until we come. And it has always worked for us.
Really?
Yes, it is working perfectly well.
Good to
so
hear.
we're in this partnership with them. They know also it is because the problem is that if you don't know what consumer protection is all about, you will feel it doesn't concern you. But when you are informed, when you know what it's all about, it is a fight that everybody is supposed to put hand on so that we get it right. So we are actually doing our best. And in companies, so many companies are aware. In fact, there's no company in Nigeria now that will mention FCCPC and the company will be like, I don't know them. No. before they produce anything, before they advertise, FCCPC must know. And even on this one, they do what we call promo. Before you do promo in Nigeria, you must have to register with FCCPC. It's also a way of advertising the office. Because why you register that promo is that some people will tell you if you buy one, you take two. But at the end, it doesn't happen. But if you register with FCCPC, one, you can't do promo without registering. But if you register, we now monitor the process of that promo. When it ends, we also go to the redemption point and ask them, give us the list of people that won, give us what they won, and how you treated them. So if we collate this, we'll be able to say this company has done well or this company did not do as they promised, then we hold that one liable.
All right. I was going to ask this particular question when you talked about a particular milk company and the fault was from them. In the case where this product are sold and consumer buys this product and consume this product and it leads to death, what happens?
What happens is there is a process it will go. One, it must have to be determined that it is the product that caused the death, and that brings in the medical personnel. Like now, there's a case that is going on in Lagos. This plastic surgeon, there's a plastic surgeon that did surgery on somebody. I think is the buttocks, wanted the buttocks to be big and things like that. So through that process, it led to death. Our office is on it. Just last week, they filed a paper of no case to answer or something like that. I'm not a lawyer, but our legal team are on it. And our office said no. So many have happened, and our office is winning. So
Your office is winning.
If something happens and it leads to death, we investigate it, go through the medical line. If we get proof that this is what led to the person's death, then we go into it and see what happens. The company must pay for it.
All right, thank you very much. And then I would like to ask you before we round off, I know we have other regulatory agencies like the NAFDAC, the SON, so many of them. So what's your relationship, the relationship between your own office and these other regulatory agencies? Do they report to you, or do you have specialized areas of coverage?
We don't have specialized areas of coverage as FCCPC, but them like NAFDAC, Food and Drug, now SON standards. What we do, our relationship is, if there's a case of, for instance, NAFDAC number, we can't just go in and say, this man has this NAFDAC number, this one, assuming two people or two products have the same NAFDAC number, which you've seen in the market. So what we do is that we now relate with NAFDAC. Please tell us, who did you give this number to? Which product did you give number to? We'll be able to ascertain the original owner of that and now enforce the law on the other person who is doing the cheat. Now to SON, before a standard is set in Nigeria, FCCPC must be there because we represent the consumers. So in that standard setting, they call other regulatory agencies, they call FCCPC, they call right advocates people, they call all of us, we sit down in setting of standards. Then we know how the standard is being set. Now also, if there is a question of standard in our product, we take it to them to check through their lab, what is this standard supposed to be? Assuming it has to do with roofing, for instance. If we have a case on roofing, maybe the meterage is in doubt. It is SON that will come and tell us, this is what happens here, this is what happens here. And also, in let me say, in the petroleum industry, for us to regulate or to check the quality and quantity of what is being dispensed to consumers in filling stations, we go with measuring can. And this can is calibrated by SON. So we can't go with anyone that is not calibrated with SON. So these are the relationships. We actually relate very well.
I wish an SON, member was here, because there were lots of questions I would have asked him when it comes to standard, because I know when it comes to the pharmaceutical world, a whole lot of substandard products, and a lot of people, import and manufacture and produce a lot of drugs that has gotten people into bigger problems. So before we round off, let me come to you, Mr. Uchenna.
Okay.
As an advocate, what would you be saying to the consumers out there? Because thank God for this, a lot of people, before now, probably don't have the idea of what the office or the consumer do. And of course, as an advocate of the consumer rights, what would you be telling them? What message, what parting words would you be saying to the consumer out there to emulate as regarding, knowing their rights?
All right, one is to keep on emphasizing on the mandate of FCCPC, the right channel where they could take their complaints to. Sometimes one of the issues I encountered is fear of complaint, that is speaking out. Some of them will tell you, would that involve money? Would that involve process? And all that. And I say no, their services is free up to court level. So on my part is to keep on sensitizing them, and I always expect them to speak out, because when you are not informed, you are deformed.
You are deformed.
So this is the message I'll keep on.
Okay, giving the consumers. Thank you very much. Mr. Humphrey, finally, as we are rounding up now, could you please tell us again the meaning of FCCPC, where you are located here in Oka, and then in a nutshell, what you do for the people?
FCCPC means Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. Our office for the Southeast is directly opposite the Anambra State Government House by the Express. And our phone number is 080, in case you need to take it, 080-3412-4060. And what we do...
Could you please say that again?
080-3412-4060. And what we do in a nutshell is to protect consumers from being abused in the marketplace.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you. Well, that's how it's been. Good morning, Anambra, this morning. And I'm sure that for those of you that watched and those of you that joined us from different parts of the country and beyond, you will know, you say that we have done a very good job this morning by bringing this information to your doorsteps. Thank you. Well, I've been around with Ugonna Ebere.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to let the people know what's happening, because a lot of people would continue to get into trouble if news like this and informations like this are not passed to them. So once again, it's a great opportunity to have them around.
Okay, and thank you very much, Mr. Humphrey Emmanuel Akam, Principal Consumer Education Officer, FCCPC, Oka. Thank you for coming, sir.
Thank you so much.
And Mr. Aga Ewa Uchenna. Aga Ewa Uchenna, where are you from?
From Ebonyi State.
Okay. Aga Ewa Uchenna is a consumer rights advocate, even though he's not a lawyer.
Thank you, but I'm a pastor, so that covers me well.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Okay, my name is Sijama Uche, and by the special grace of God, we will be here with you tomorrow morning.
Of course. Tomorrow, yes, we'll be here again. We're gonna stay with us. This is ABS.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, see you tomorrow.